Nice to meet you.
I'm Finesse. I will be attending you today. I would like to let you know before we start that I am mandated to report any suspicions of abuse to yourself or others. Um, Everything will be private in here under the circumstances that you're harmful to yourself or others or any case of abuse. Also, I would like to let you know that if at any time you feel uncomfortable or you have any triggers, we can stop at any point. So, what brings you in today?
My mom passed away recently, and I'm just having a really hard time adjusting.
Adjusting.
Um, yeah, it was kind of unexpected. She got COVID, and then she got admitted into the hospital, and we found out that she had pneumonia on top of that, and she ended up on a BiPAP because her oxygen couldn't stay up. And then my mom also has an underlying heart condition, and the everything made her heart condition act up, and then she ended up on a vent, and we had to make the choice to take her off the vent. She passed away.
Wow, I'm so sorry to hear that. So, what does it mean? How do you feel when you say that?
Um, it feels surreal. Like I just didn't think that I would be so young and lose my mom so unexpectedly. I mean, other than her heart condition, she was really healthy. So this just kind of came out of nowhere, and it was really hard to.
Tell me more about your mother before this condition happened.
Um, my mom was always a really lively person. She was, for most of my childhood, she was a director at a camp for people with disabilities, and I grew up on that camp. And she just she was loud, and she had a big personality. You always knew who she was, and um, so it's just like my mom was always like the planner. Like she always planned these big parties for everybody at camp, and like she loved the holidays. She always was over the top, I guess you could say. And now it's just like she's not here to have that anymore.
Wow. So, it seems like your mother was a really big influence.
Yeah, she was my best friend.
Wow. So, how have things been since you haven't had that best friend anymore?
It's been really hard. I just like I don't know how to talk to my kids about it. And my youngest just turned a year old. Like she passed away right before my youngest's first birthday, and then right before Christmas. And so it's just kind of hard. I don't really know how to be there for my kids and also be there for myself. Like my husband has really been the rock with me throughout this entire situation, and just kind of letting me do what I need to do, but also making sure like I don't lose myself in the grief. But like like I'm struggling to just even get out of bed. Like it's just a lot.
Lose yourself?
Yeah, just like allow myself to be consumed by the grief and just like not know how to come back from it. Like he's making sure like I stay in the present and reminding me that things are okay, but allowing me to, have my space and cry it out as I need to.
What does it mean for you to have your husband there during this difficult time?
It means a lot. Like I don't think that I would be able to be where don't think that I would be able to be here if it wasn't for my husband kind of picking up the slack and like making sure that I'm okay and helping me through everything.
Wow, wow. So it sounds like you're dealing with a lot of grief
Yeah.
behind losing your mother, and it seems like you have a support system with your husband.
Yeah.
So, other than that, how else do you cope?
Um, when I was younger, I used to like paint a lot, but I haven't even had the energy to get out of bed. Like I don't want to talk to anybody. I don't want to do anything. I just want to lay in bed. I don't want to.
Tell me more about your painting.
When I was younger, I was in a lot of art classes, and I just always found peace and like solace in painting. It was just like a way to release everything without having to talk about it. But as I got older and like I had kids, and I just don't have the time to do that anymore. So I just don't really have anything to kind of give me that same kind of release.
What When you say release, what does release look like for you?
To just like all those emotions that like I'm holding inside, just allowing them out to like to truly like feel them and just like let them go to kind of like take that heaviness off of like my shoulders and just to release all that like pent up energy, I guess.
I'm interested in knowing, do you do anything like in remembrance of your mother?
Yeah, so we held like a little memorial service for her. She was cremated, and my husband got me a necklace for my mother's ashes after she passed away, and I got a tattoo for my mom.
Okay. Um, so if I'm understanding you correctly, you lost your mother recently. You've been trying to find ways to cope with it, losing your support, someone who was a big, important person, very energetic, such a planner.
Yeah.
You have support with your husband, but also you would like to find other ways to release.
Yeah.
Well, I would like to commend you for coming here today and sharing that. Grief is never something easy to deal with by yourself. So I would like to let you know that it takes a lot of courage to go through what you're going through and still be able to stand in front of a complete stranger and be completely vulnerable.
Yeah.
Me personally, I don't know how it feels to lose a mother. So, but I do understand that with grief, it's never an overnight process. So you just being here shows that, you know, you want to take steps and learn how to get past it.
Yeah.
What are your relationship like with your kids?
I mean, my kids are my whole world. It's like I have two daughters, and my oldest daughter, she's 5. I had her when I was young, so we kind of like, or I guess you could say we're kind of like growing up together, but I mean, not really because I was an adult when I had her, but I was still young. And, you know, my mom helped me with her a lot when, you know, while I was trying to figure out being a single mother and life and like what I wanted to do with myself. And so me and my oldest daughter are really, really close, but my youngest daughter she's so young. I just don't really know how to talk to her about it because she doesn't understand like why my mom was there and now she's not. And I don't know because she's only 1, so.
Understandable. So it looks like you're in a tough space where you have to explain to your youngest daughter, like, really, you learning to adjust in, but now you have to explain it to her.
Right.
How does that feel?
I mean, it's hard. I mean, I don't even know. It's really hard. I don't know how to deal with it. Like I don't know how to approach her because she's so young. Like I understand that her understanding is limited, but how do you explain that to a 1-year-old?
How would you feel about her coming in to see someone?
I'm not opposed to it. I think something like that would probably be more beneficial to my older daughter because, you know, she is older and she does understand and she was also very close to my mom, but like my youngest she just doesn't get it. I mean, she's just too young to really understand like all of like what death encompasses. Like
Right. So you say your oldest daughter was close with your mother.
Yeah.
Tell me more about the relationship they had.
I mean, they were best friends. My mom took her to do everything. My mom, you know, once I met my husband, my mom would take her for the weekend. So, like, me and my husband could have, like, a weekend together. And, I mean, like I said, I was younger when I had her, and we were living with my mom. And so my mom was there when I had her. My mom was there as she grew up. And now she's just gone. So, you know, my oldest is really, really sad because she doesn't have her grandma anymore. So
Wow. So If I'm understanding you correctly, your mother passed away, and now you're learning how to help your kids adjust to it as you're learning to adjust to it yourself.
Yeah.
Your oldest daughter seems like she understands more, but it's more like a touch and go with your younger one.
I wouldn't necessarily say touch and go. Like, she just doesn't get it. She doesn't understand why mommy's so sad and mommy's in bed all day.
Mhm.
Like, and, my husband does the best that he can to help her understand that mommy's sad and she's going through a hard time. But like I said, like, she's one, she just she doesn't really understand. I mean, which I get that, but I also don't know how to deal with it. 1-year-olds are boisterous and very active, and I just don't really have the energy to deal with her, so I rely heavily on my husband with her.
You rely heavily on your husband.
Yeah, just to, I guess to just like deal with her a lot more, just because she's a lot. She's all over the place, and she's a happy kid, for the most part, but I'd really rely on my husband to just help me navigate parenting her, because I really struggle. I'm struggling so hard right now.
That's understandable. I would like to tell you that struggling is normal. Being in your position, losing a mother, navigating your own feelings, and not want to let your children see you like that, but it's kind of normal, to experience grief in the way that you're experiencing it. Your feelings are very normal, and it takes a lot of courage to come here and seek help.
Yeah.
Admitting that you can't do this by yourself, you're struggling. That takes a lot of courage, and I want to commend you for it.
Thank you.
Is there anything else you would like to share with me here today?
No, that's really like my biggest thing. I just don't know how to carry on. Like, I'm mad. I think that's really my biggest emotion right now, is just I'm angry that my mom was taken from me and I don't have her anymore, and I don't know what to do.
Your mom was taken from you.
Yeah, just like I said, it was so unexpected. It was it was just like she was okay one day, and then she was in the hospital the next, and we couldn't see her, and we had to call for updates, and then it was, she's on a vent and her heart issue was causing problems, and then it was like, we don't think she's going to come out of this, so you guys need to sit down and figure out what you want to do. And it was just a lot to process in a really short period of time, and I don't feel like I got enough time to come to terms with it before we decided.
What would you like to do going forward that you believe would help you better cope with this situation?
I don't know. That's a good question. I don't think I've really thought like that far into the future, to be honest with you. I'm just kind of like dealing with the day-to-day at this point, just trying to figure out how to get out of bed and carry on, and I don't know, try to figure out how to go back to work and just like be in the present, I guess. I haven't really thought that far into the future. I'm just kind of still trying to handle the present at this point.
What do you do for self-care?
I don't know. I don't really get a lot of time for self-care. Like, I work a lot, to be honest with you, or I was working a lot before all this happened. I've been taking time off, obviously. Like I said, I used to do a lot of art, but I don't really have a lot of time for that anymore.
Ding ding.